When the divorce papers were signed, I was left with almost nothing. Just an old pickup truck, a rundown apartment with chip paint, and a job that barely covered rent. She, on the other hand, seemed to have won everything. A luxury condo downtown, a new man with deep pockets, and a smug grin that could cut deeper than any insult. I still remember the day she came to drop off the last of my things. She stood in the middle of my small living room, glanced around, and smirked. "This is where you live now?" she asked, her tone dripping with mockery. I nodded. "It's small," she added, eyeing the cracked ceiling, "but I guess it suits you." Then she laughed, that cold, cruel laugh I use to mistake for charm. I didn't argue. I just opened the door and let her leave, her heels tapping down the hall like punctuation marks ending a bitter story. Back then, I worked maintenance for a property management company. My days were spent fixing other people's leaky faucets and broken heaters, while my own life felt like it was falling apart. Evenings were quiet. Just me, some takeout, and a faint dream that one day I'd own something that no one could take from me. Her laughter stuck with me. Every time I wanted to give up, I heard it echo in my head, pushing me forward. That humiliation became my fuel. I took extra shifts, learned about real estate on my breaks, and saved every penny I could. Slowly, my life started to shift. 5 years later, I was no longer the same man she mocked. I had scraped together enough for a down payment on a small duplex. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I renovated it myself. Late nights, weekends, holidays, whatever it took. When it was ready, I rented out one side and lived in the other. It wasn't glamorous, but it was steady. From there, things started to move. I bought another property, then another. Each new building was a reminder of how far I'd come. The man she laughed at was gone, replaced by someone who understood the quiet power of persistence. Then one afternoon, my realtor called about a property for sale, an aging apartment complex in need of a new owner. When I looked at the address, my breath caught. It was the same building I used to live in, the same one she had mocked years ago. The owner was retiring and wanted a fast sale. I ran the numbers, made an offer, and a week later, it was mine. When I signed the closing papers, I couldn't help but smile. The irony was poetic. The same place where I'd once been humiliated was now an asset with my name on the deed. That evening, I walked through the halls, stopping outside the door of my old unit. The walls were freshly painted, but I could still feel the ghost of the man I used to be, hurt, lost, and underestimated. He'd finally won. A few months later, fate decided to have a sense of humor. I was inspecting the property when I heard a familiar voice behind me. "Ethan." I turned around, and there she was, my ex-wife, shopping bags in hand, dressed like she was running errands nearby. For a second, she didn't recognize me. Then it hit her. "You own this place?" she asked, her voice cracking slightly. I smiled. "Yeah," I said evenly. "Actually, I own the whole building." Her mouth fell open. She looked around, taking in the same hallway she'd once mocked. "So, you live here again?" she asked weakly. I chuckled. "No, but plenty people pay me to." She forced a nervous laugh. "Wow, things really worked out for you." I shrugged. "They did." There was a pause before she said softly, "Maybe we could get coffee sometime, catch up?" I looked at her, still beautiful, still searching for validation in all the wrong places. I remembered how quickly she'd left when life got hard, how she'd traded loyalty for luxury. "I don't think that's a good idea," I said kindly. Then I added, "But if you ever need an apartment, I might have a vacancy." Her face shifted, a mix of embarrassment, regret, and realization that the tables had turned. I checked my watch. "I've got a meeting. Good seeing you, though." She nodded, eyes glistening, unable to find a response. I walked past her, down the same hallway where she once mocked my failure. But this time, I wasn't leaving defeated. I was leaving as the owner. That night, standing on the rooftop, the city lights glowing below, I thought about all the times I'd wished for revenge. But I realized I didn't need it. Success had done the talking for me. The laughter that once haunted me now made me smile. She left because she couldn't see who I was becoming. And now, The world could, especially her. I lifted a glass of bourbon to the skyline and whispered, "Thanks for leaving." Because if she hadn't walked away, I might never have learned how to rebuild from nothing. Somewhere out there, she probably still tells people she regrets letting me go. But me? I don't regret a thing. I own the building she once mocked, and the peace that comes with it.